Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Simna. I hope you are great. Came across this video. Very big shout out to this beautiful sister because she laid it all down. So she was talking about how did KKK start and so many things and all that. When white supremacy started falling, they thought like, what else are we supposed to do to continue to uphold our stupid power? They decided to create one thing. Now I am going to say this. You and I know how much this administration is suffering and the pain they have caused people. And also the system it's already fallen. Some people know, some people do not know. And the ones that do not know are the ones that are in court. You know, when you are in court, you lose your sense organs. You're not able to smell, you're not able to see nothing because you are completely blind. Because tell me how a full grown man will come out to ask you, what do you people need the Epstein's file to do? You must really be very dumb to come out to ask us this question. For the ones that know already, they know that something is going wrong. Some do not know how to turn around. Some are still standing on the mandate. You and I know that that mandate is not mandating so far. But I will leave you all at that because majority of you, like he said he loved the poorly educated. And so far, you can actually concur with me that the poorly educated are so much on that side. But you know what? Stay glued. Let's get into this video.
The KKK did not exist until Black people successfully escaped the physical chains of chattel slavery. But that doesn't mean that escaping the physical chains of chattel slavery was a failure and that white supremacy won. The KKK was created because white supremacy was losing. Mass incarceration didn't exist as we know it today until the civil rights movement was passed and Black people and everyone who helped us successfully defeated Jim Crow. The creation of mass incarceration did not signify the failure of the defeat of Jim Crow. Mass incarceration came because of the defeat of Jim Crow, but it does not, it does not invalidate the defeat of Jim Crow. When the first woman ran in the Boston Marathon, men physically harassed her all the way to the finish line. But her reaching the finish line and running the marathon in the first place is not invalidated by the backlash to her success. Now we have women of all colors, all nationalities, all religions, and all ages living their grandmother's wildest dreams. And what we are seeing is a backlash. We are seeing a rise in alt-right ideologies. We are seeing a rise in male rage, patriarchal rage. There is a backlash against the career woman. There is a push to return to this trad wife ideal where women were wearing the soft chains of marriage slavery because that's what marriage was originally intended for. But that backlash, this backlash that is happening, this attempted rise at fascism, because it won't take hold. It will not grow roots, I promise you. And that's a whole nother conversation about why it won't. But this rise of alt-right ideology isn't happening because we're losing. It is happening because this is the natural response to progress. Anytime an oppressed group wins a battle, the oppressors wage a war, but the oppressors never win. In World War II, leading up to World War II, the average German citizen was piss poor, broke as hell, because of everything that happened after World War I. They blamed it all on Germany, which really wasn't fair to Germany, to be completely honest with you. It was a whole thing. We won't get into the historical nuances of that. But the average German was poor. The average Jew was thriving. The Holocaust and Nazism was a reaction to Jewish people thriving. But despite the amount of people that suffered and the sheer magnitude of that suffering, that did not invalidate Jewish excellence. All it did was delay the inevitable, which is that Jewish people will continue to thrive and do continue to thrive until this day. You can't confuse the backlash to progress as the continuation of old systems of power. It is the dying of old systems of power, not the birth. Dying and birth often look the very same, and you have to have the discernment to know what you're looking at when you're looking at it. Anytime I see a video of people talking about the rise of fascism and how they're just so disturbed and how we're backsliding, I scroll because it is extremely misleading, and someone who doesn't have a good understanding of history would believe them without asking any questions. It is not a backslide. What is happening right now is not a backslide. It is quite the opposite. This backlash is happening because we are doing the opposite of backsliding. Barack Obama won the presidency. Wasn't old enough to vote for him the first time, but I sure as hell voted for him the second time. Does the presence of Trump mean that there was a backslide? No. The presence of Trump is the very predictable backlash to Obama. But does that invalidate all of the progress we made under Obama? Does that invalidate all of the progress that Barack Obama symbolized? No. White Americans are punishing us with Trump, a decade of Trump, because we move forward. We keep moving forward. When how do I put this? When a collective as big as humanity pushes forward in their evolutionary tract, there's going to be natural resistance. That does not mean, that natural resistance does not mean that we should despair and give up hope and assume that, oh, well, you know, we're facing an obstacle. I guess we should just stop. I guess this means we have to turn around and go back. I feel like young people in this generation don't know what it is to fight for what is right and to move forward regardless and to have hope, because hope is their only option. Luckily, the majority of us who were born in the 80s and later have never had to have a whole lot of hope because we were born in relative peacetime. We weren't old enough to really face the brunt of the AIDS epidemic or the drugs epidemic in the 80s or the violence. What is happening right now is par for the course, and based on pretty much every single era of human history, we won't lose if we keep moving forward. They will. They always lose. Elon Musk is having a worse year in the first 3 months of 2025 than Drake had in all of 2024. What is happening with Musk and Trump? The amount of people who hate them, viscerally hate them. These town halls, these red hat Republicans even want to cut their fucking throats. That is not what it looks like when you're winning. What it looks like when you're winning is when a bunch of people are trying to hold you back from the finish line, which is us. That is us. Women are outpacing men in every fucking category other than murder and violent crime. Of course they're gonna be mad. Of course they're gonna try to get you to go back to being their slaves. I mean, wives. I mean, brood mares. This is what it looks like when you're winning. When you're in class and another kid is cheating off of your test, are they cheating off of you because you're stupid? Or are they doing the wrong thing because you're smart and they're trying to ride your coattails? If you were running a race in track and field and the person behind you tried to trip you up, are they tripping you up because you're losing? Or are they tripping you up because you're winning? I just think we need to maintain some perspective and zoom out, look at this from a high level, and understand that people don't try to sabotage losers, because losers sabotage themselves. People try to sabotage winners. And the saboteur does not invalidate the victor. They always invalidate themselves in the long run. And let me just say this also. When you have a group of people who can only ever win if they rig the game, when you have a group of people who can only feel good about themselves when they're standing on top of other people, you already have them beat. You just don't know it yet. They do. They know it. Like Cat Williams said, liars act weird around you because they know the lie they told. You might not know it, but they know it. Just act like you know something, man. Like, we're on the right track. We're not backsliding into fucking fascism. Like, relax. We are doing exactly what we were always meant to be doing, which is moving forward and perpetuating the evolution of humanity for our children and our children's children and our descendants on down the line. If we were losing, they wouldn't be so worried about entrenching the rigged system. The system's about to fall. You mark my words.
White supremacy is so embarrassing. It's humiliating. White supremacy is humiliating. Can we stop? Like, can we just stop, please? I want it to stop right now, immediately. Just stop it. Just stop. It's so cringe and it's disgusting and it's just stagnant, old, disgusting, cringe, horrible, embarrassing, humiliating energy. And I just need it to stop now. Everyone needs it to stop now. We're done. Stop, everybody. Stop it. It's fucking awful. Like, you think you're better because you're pale? That's absolutely insane. White supremacy is a delusional mess. And the world is fucking exhausted by it. We're done. Goodbye. Good night.
This is all I got from this video. And sincerely speaking, the system is already falling. I don't think it's something anybody needs somebody to tell. It's obvious, it's glaring. The people that do not believe it's falling are the cold. People that do not have eyes, or they have eyes but they are not seeing. They have ears but they cannot hear. They have mouth but they can't actually speak. You know, sometimes when I sit down and I think about some certain things that is going on, and how people are still standing on somebody's mandate, a mandate that has fallen, a mandate that is a disgrace. May I not be that kind of people. I am smart enough to know when something is going right and when something is going wrong. That is one of the reasons why when something is going right, you go with the flow. When something is going wrong, you look for a way to find alternative. But some people do not have that. The only thing they think is straightforward. If you look around what is going on in 2025, you definitely will see that there is nothing they have not done in this 2025 or this present administration to bring black people down, to tear black people, to do this to black people. But yet they are still standing strong, doing what they are supposed to do, and at the same time being human, doing what they are supposed to, coming out when it is necessary. They are on vacation, but I still see them use their phone to do one or two things, not just one or two, to do things. Because most of the boycott that we've done that worked so far are black people that started it. A very big shout out to them. You know, each time I sit down and ask myself, how did actually KKK, how did they even start and all that? Finding out that it started because they find out that white supremacy is forming. They decide to form other groups in order to keep themselves alive and up and running. And how far so far? You know, I made a video yesterday where I was talking about how come today we are no longer seeing white men coming out to say white men fight back, because what is going on today deserves white men to sit on, to sit up and do what is necessary, what is required of people that wanted change, that needed change to do. But no, I haven't seen them. Rather, they are looking for a way to ask you, why are you all so much interested in this Epstein's file? And then telling you that this is a Democrats problem, or Democrats cause, and all that. That is to tell you how dumb some people could be. But I am not saying them coming out to call themselves out to say white men fight back, white men fight back. The only time you see them want to fight back, it's only when it got to deal with black people. And one thing is that when they are fighting, they are always fighting for the wrong reason. I never see them fight for the right reason. That is how dumb it is. But it is what it is. The reality is, a very big shout out to this beautiful sister. She said what she said, and I second it. Yeah, this system it is crumbling at this point in time. And they know something is wrong, but some of them do not know. Some of them do not know. And to my great surprise, he loves the poorly educated. That's one of the reasons why they are not able to know when something is right and something is wrong. And this is what will unalive some certain kind of people. Man, I really don't have anything to say. I will draw the curtain here. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to black people. Bye for now.